I just sat down with Simon to share the roadmap with him that's going to take him from a struggling business owner to building a multi-million-dollar business. If you want to build a successful agency, then you need to build profitable acquisition systems. Most people feel stuck, struggling with delivery, cold outreach, or attracting high-quality clients. The problem is that starting from zero is actually pretty hard. No one gets on calls with you, no one trusts you, and no one wants to pay you in the first place. In this video, you'll learn how to build a profitable business and acquisition system that yields high-quality clients on autopilot. And we will cover the 5 fundamental steps to doing so. Firstly, we'll talk about the business model. Secondly, how to create offers. Thirdly, how to market. Point number 4, how to sell. And point number 5, how to deliver. Let's jump into it. All right, so we have about 6 to 7 different steps that we want to run through. We want to run through the funnel type and breakdown, offer, marketing, sales, delivery, daily schedule, and action steps. Specifically for your offer right now, just for some context, obviously you're running an info agency, and you told me that you wanted to target clients that make in between 5K to 30K per month and essentially install a done-for-you system that takes care of content, landing pages, and a couple of other conversion tools for them.
Exactly.
Okay, awesome. Now, funnel type and breakdown. We want to do a book a call funnel for this. I know that you told me as well that you ideally want to run a funnel that's the exact funnel that you're implementing for people. So you already have proof of concept when they come to you. So that's exactly what we're going to do. There's really 4 different mechanisms that this really ties into, which is YouTube, Shorts, IG Stories, and LinkedIn. So we're going to run through every single one of them, how to structure them, what to do, and what not to do. So we'll run through that right now. To give you a quick example of what my IG looks like, we're going to dive into that right now quickly. Just for some reference, obviously my IG is optimized a bit differently than the one you would want to have, but you still want to have a lot of similarities in between the two. So bio, obviously, full name is super important. Put your location here. It's just good to have there. You can have founder and CEO of @ company. Ideally, we want to actually integrate a company profile as well.
Okay.
Just making it look professional and clean. Now, this is really also dependent on where you want to take things long term. If you say that over time you want to have this running completely automated without your involvement, or do an exit, or both, then you need to sooner or later, or you should ideally do it sooner rather than later, build a company brand, because you want people to associate the offer, the value, and the result with the company rather than yourself. But in the beginning, it should be your face.
Makes sense. Right? Yeah, makes sense.
Awesome. Okay. For the link right here, you put one of 2 assets. It's either a YouTube link directly to some form of asset. Super important to keep in mind for this asset is that you want to make sure that in the asset, you handle every single belief that they need to have. So what you ideally want to do, and you can write this down if you want to put together a sheet that outlines the exact things someone needs to believe, A to Z, like literally all of them, before they buy, for them to actually convert. And then you want to integrate subtly in a smart way every single one of those beliefs in a content asset that you produce. And that's the one you show to every single person entering your funnel.
Okay.
This is something that you could also call a YouTube VSL, just for some reference. Awesome.
So build a sheet with all objections and cover them in the video then also.
Exactly. So you want to do that subtly. The way you handle objections is really through stories. So you should ideally tell client stories. If you don't have a client story about a specific belief, just tell stories about something else that shows proof of concept in what you're saying. That's super important. This is the one way to do it. The other way would be a landing page, which we're going to speak about later on either way.
Great.
Awesome. Perfect. Now, for the highlight section of this is super simple as well. You want to have a couple of different parts to this. I actually don't have this in place completely myself, to be honest. So if we click on partner results right here, client results, you usually want to spread out over like 5, 10, 20 different highlights and not have like a lot of them stacked in one like I have here, because people, realistically speaking, are just not going to click through this. So it doesn't really matter. So this one, you want to spread this out over the entire highlight section. You want to have a bit of value, which is this one. You want to have your life, just posting a bunch of things you're doing just to show you're an authentic human being and you're actually living a life. And then start here sections are usually very good to hook in people initially when they first visit your profile. You can have really anything here, but you ideally want to walk them through who you are, what you're doing, why you're the best at what you're doing, and that's really everything you have to show here. We can build these out together as well. Then we have the posts, super important here. Just have at least 9 posts so the profile looks filled up. You either way have like 2,000, 2,500 followers, so that already looks good. That's IG, super simple. For the profile picture as well, make sure your face is clearly visible. I think we spoke about this before on your profile specifically.
It's not a thing, yeah.
Yeah. So if you have a profile picture that is actually clearly visible with your face, that would be amazing. The one you have is quite cool, but people connect with faces, not with pictures, right? So make sure to put that there. Perfect. Awesome. So that is IG. For the LinkedIn, did we ever talk about LinkedIn before and how to structure that?
Not yet.
Okay. So LinkedIn is super important. By the way, for some reference, the reason as to why we want to get into multiple platforms and have LinkedIn in place, have IG in place, have YouTube in place, is because if we want to grow as fast as possible, we need to increase our surface area to the maximum amount. And the way we do that is by optimizing every single detail of our funnel on any end. And once this is built once, you only really have to do it once, it's done, right? So for the LinkedIn, we want to treat our LinkedIn like a landing page. Okay, I'll walk you through the different steps and parts to this right now. The first part is the banner. In the banner, same thing again. We want people to understand exactly who we are, what we do, and why we are the best at it. That's super important to keep in mind. You can obviously see right here, you have the claim right here. You have, what the company does, and then how many clients we've served. You can also find a call to action at the top left, and this is super important now. On LinkedIn, we want to have the call to action on 3 different ends. We want to have one in the banner. We want to have one in the link in the bio. And then we want to have a couple of them in our featured section. So banner, link in the bio, and featured section. Those are the 3 places where we want to actually do call to actions. On LinkedIn, we never do call to actions to actually book a call or buy anything from us. On LinkedIn, we only do call to actions for people to claim a lead magnet. Okay. For lead magnets, we now want to have ideally 3 to 4 different ones. Okay. These can be PDFs, these can be videos, these can be webinars, these can be, really anything else, doesn't really matter. They just need to be very valuable. The way you make a lead magnet valuable is by making sure that the lead magnet gives people an aha moment. So it shouldn't be about, making the lead magnet as extensive as possible, which obviously also takes a lot more work. It's really about shifting this one core belief that your audience has about a certain thing in as little time as possible. That makes the lead magnet valuable. Now, for this specifically, you want to rotate the lead magnets every 3 to 4 weeks, roundabout.
Okay.
This is the reason as to why we have multiple ones. We have a following, we're connected with them. If they every 4 weeks see a new lead magnet, we get more opt-ins without really creating anything new. So we want to have those on rotation. That's super important. Now, posts, ideally, we want to post once a day. It's super simple to do. You just put down your thoughts. You want to have a strong hook. The hook is 90% of the success of the post, like with anything. So that's super important. You can put pictures below it to increase engagement. And that's really everything you have to do in the beginning. Obviously, make sure that your company profile is here. It has a logo as well. Now, headline is a big one. For the headline, a lot of people would put CEO or founder of XYZ company here. That's actually the worst thing you can do, because the first 45 characters of the headline is exactly what's being displayed when people scroll through profiles. And so you want to make the first 45 characters interesting enough for people to click on.
Okay, makes sense.
Perfect. How do you make people click? By talking about the dream outcome. So in this case, we have scale past 50K a month by positioning yourself as a brand partner. As an example, this is the dream outcome, and that's why people click on it. Everything that comes after this isn't that relevant anymore, right? Now, we obviously have the connections as well, have as many as possible. I think that's self-explanatory. You should be able to send 10 to 20 a day, depending on the profile you have and how long it's been active. And that's that. For some reference on the About section, you can also check out this. You can also obviously check out all of these things afterwards. I'm going to send you all of this as well. So I'm going to send you the board. I'm going to send you all the docs and all of that good stuff, so you have access to that. So that's how we build out the LinkedIn profile. Now, for some numbers on the LinkedIn profile, I actually want to show this to you quickly. Let me just open up my Google Docs here. So if we look at numbers, say you get 10,000 views on your posts per month, which shouldn't necessarily be that hard if you understand copywriting and how to actually spark people's interest. Say we get 10K views per month. Out of 10,000 views on average, we'll have about 400 profile visits per month. Okay. And out of 400 profile visits, the conversion rate on that is usually 1% to get opt-ins, meaning we get 4 people to consume our lead magnet every single month with 10K views on our posts. Now, these lead magnets, based on industry data and what we've seen with clients as well as with myself, conversion rate on these types of leads is usually in between 30% to 50% plus, meaning you convert in between 1 to 2 to sometimes 3 clients from these 4 people that opted in, which if you charge like 5K, that's like 10, 15 grand a month just from LinkedIn inbound.
Okay.
Okay.
Great potential.
100%. Easy. So that's the first part to this. If you have any questions on that, by the way, we can cover that as well. So that's IG, that's LinkedIn. This is super important. In your case, we're targeting a very sophisticated audience. We have to go quality over quantity. And what I mean by that is we shouldn't post like a reel a day or 1 YouTube video a week. We should post when we can actually post a really good piece of content, because your social media profiles, they're kind of like your digital ID. And to someone who's sophisticated and running a successful business, the quality and what it looks like matters a lot. You cannot do content that appeals to, an unsophisticated audience and expect people with a lot of money to buy.
Yeah.
So I spoke about this with a client, for example, yesterday, because he was posting a video on I think Instagram that said like how to get rich in 2025. He's also targeting info products making like 50K a month plus. And it didn't make any sense because he's attracting a bunch of broke young people with that. Okay. So always be very intentional with the specific type of content that you're posting. Okay. Now you can just write that down.
Be intentional with every post because it's really, really important. It's true. Okay. Quality.
Exactly. Quantity. Super important. The intentional thing as well, just for some reference. Every single person that I've spoken to and worked with in the last few years who is making more than $10 million a year, every single one of them is super, super intentional with every single tiny thing they're doing. They're not doing stuff just to do it. They're doing it with an intention behind it, either to attract a certain audience, to provoke a certain audience, or convert them, or whatever that may be. There's always intention behind it. So you always got to think about what you're doing, but act quickly as well. Yeah. That's important. Now, for the YouTube side of things, we will need to leverage authority hijacking a lot. So if I break down the videos that went the best for me so far, it's usually the videos that I put in the most money, the most time, and the most effort. Duh. Makes sense, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
And the other ones are the ones where I'm actually talking about people in the industry who are very well known and breaking down stuff that they do. The best way to do this for your specific case is to build an umbrella of proof. Right. We spoke about this guy, for example, before, Jace England, who's also running an info agency. If you look at his types of videos, that's a good reference for what you should post. Now, he's talking a lot about case studies. Obviously, you saying, I made my client X amount of money in X amount of time frame, it's going to help a lot more than saying, I looked at this business and they make this much money and this is how they do it. But that's the way we need to do it in the beginning until we have those case studies. If we look at these types of videos, we want to make sure that we do funnel breakdowns in your case, right?
Okay.
So that's the best way and the best type of YouTube video that we can actually put out there, because it wraps everything you're saying in an umbrella of proof. And that's what we need. People listen to you because they know that you've been validated. And that's what we need, validation. Perfect. Exactly. So that's super important. Now, as I said, obviously we cannot do the I did this lines yet. We need to replace those with similar video concepts. So I wrote down 2 examples here. We can see this particular video. I copied Jordan Lee's funnel and it made me 250K a month. We could, for example, say I copied Jordan Lee's funnel and found out why he makes $1 million a month, right? Very similar. This type of title might perform a bit worse, maybe even a bit better. You can't know. If it performs worse, it's very likely because, you didn't do it actively, you just investigated it. But that's fine. This is still going to bring traction. Or, for example, how this person scaled his coaching program to this amount of money in time frame. Okay? Now, another example of this would be this dude. He's only posting funnel breakdowns and he's getting like, here 3.7K views, 3.8K views, 4K views, 4.4K. You see he's performing pretty well. This one has 19,000. So his videos do solidly well. He's doing about 30 to 40 to sometimes $50,000 a month, depending on the month, with an info agency. And you can see he's pretty young as well. Yeah. So it doesn't take a genius to figure these things out, and funnel breakdowns work very well for the specific model you're trying to run, right? Now, to dive into the video creation process quickly, there's really 6 steps to this. Okay, or 6 things that you need to keep in mind when doing it. The first one is that packaging is 90% of the success of your video. Okay, so the way we want to break that down is that the most important part to it is really the packaging. That's number 1. After the packaging is done and it's good and it's in place, we then want to get into the intro. Okay, and this already makes up 90% of the success of your video. And then you have the value. So the video itself actually doesn't matter that much. I've seen a call recently of one of the industry leaders he has like 200K subscribers on YouTube, which obviously in the business space is pretty good. And they showed a couple of videos that they had that in the first like couple days to 1 to 2 weeks didn't do well at all. They actually were underperformers. And the only thing they changed was just title, thumbnail, packaging. And those videos went from like a couple thousand views to like 1.5 million views in like 2 months.
Okay, that's crazy.
The same video.
Okay.
So packaging is huge.
And then also split testing, maybe some thumbnails, etc.
Exactly.
Okay.
What they said here as well is that they split tested about 12 different titles and thumbnails before they found the one that really hit home. Okay. So YouTube is a game of getting the click. Obviously delivering afterwards, because, if you get the click and then your video is really shit, no one's going to care, obviously. But to get the click, you need to have good packaging, and that's 90% of the success of your video. So that's huge. Easy. Then we have master the intro. For the intro in any video, we want to have 3 different steps, and I'm going to go a bit more in detail on this in just a second as well. We want to repeat or rephrase the title. Then we want to talk about proof, results, or research. And then we want to show the plan and lay out the video and say, okay, today we're going to go through step number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you dive into the video. That's general. We'll dive into the PACE framework afterwards, which we actually spoke about yesterday on the group call as well. Awesome. Now, point number 3, CCN, core, casual, new. Most beginners, when they tend to start out with content on YouTube, with whatever type of business they're running, are posting a lot of videos to the core and casual audience, which is fine to convert people. But if you don't have an audience, it doesn't make any sense. You have to do 75% of the videos to the new audience, and then 25% of the videos have to be targeted towards a core audience. Meaning, if you do 4 videos a month, you do 3 videos to attract new people and 1 video to convert the people that already follow.
Okay.
Awesome. Perfect. Makes sense so far, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Easy. Cool. That's that. Next one, hide the fat. This is super simple. You want to show them what they want and give them what they need. Don't show them what they need because no one cares, right? Keep that in mind. Just hide the unnecessary stuff that no one wants to see. No one wants to hear, so you pay $2,000 for this flight, and then you have to drive to the airport. And then when you're on the flight, you're going to sit next to a fat person. And then you have to do all of this crap. And then you have a layover. And then you're in the next plane and there's a crying baby. And then you're in Hawaii. Like, no one cares. No one wants to hear that. People want to hear they're going to be in Hawaii sipping a pina colada. So hide all of the unnecessary stuff.
So we sell the vacation, right?
Exactly. We sell the vacation. Perfect. Very important to keep in mind here. Everything I'm saying, take this with a pinch of salt. Meaning all of these things work, they're proven, and that's exactly how it works. But you sometimes have to scrap the rule book. Meaning you shouldn't always follow these rules step by step, because it might take away your originality and you actually being unique towards your target audience. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then point number 6, most people put a call to action at the end of each video saying, if you want this, then book a call. Don't do that. In the beginning, we only do call to actions for people to actually reach out to you on IG, because that's way lower friction. Mm-hmm. So it's easier to have people send you messages. And in addition to that, we don't do the call to action at the end of the video. We only do the call to action during the video, somewhere where it feels normal, where it feels natural. That way, it kind of catches people off guard. And it's not this pushy book a call now way. It's like, I don't care if you book, you can do this if you want my help. And then you continue. So that's point number 6. Awesome. Now, packaging, we spoke about this, right? Just for some reference, packaging is title, thumbnail, idea of the video, the framing or angle of the video, and the concept behind it. Okay. So these are really the 6 things we want to keep in mind. Now, we were talking about the intro, and this is the exact framework that we need to follow for it. Okay. It's called the PACE framework. And in the PACE framework, we have PACE. P stands for payoff. In the payoff, you confirm what your title and thumbnail promised. You put this first in the first line of the video, right? Mm-hmm. Then you address the objection. You handle their biggest limiting belief before they even think about it and killed it out. Okay. So you would enter the video restating the title or rephrasing it and then saying, and by the way, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking this, this, this. You already handled the objection. So that already got them a bit more bought in because they're thinking to themselves, say you're targeting agencies, they're thinking to themselves, so you're telling me I can grow a successful agency without doing 100 calls a day, like I was told I should by all these people. Credibility, here you want to give them a reason to trust you and keep listening, show results, mention client wins, drop specific numbers. In your case right now, because there's no client wins in this niche yet, what we need to do is we need to drop credibility of other people, which is why the funnel breakdowns work so well, because we're essentially taking a part of their authority for us. Okay. E equals expectations. Here you set the stage and show them exactly what they will get in the video. Same thing. You go through point 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't state the points. So just say, it's a 5-step process. If you do state them, which you can do, you have to make them intriguing, right? You shouldn't tell them exactly what it's about. You should tell them what they're going to learn, not how they're going to do it. Okay.
Again, like the kind of self-deprecation, not the whole blame fight. So you mean that you don't need to go in detail in what you're doing, when you're doing it. Mm-hmm. You need to point out the points and what they're learning from it. So the transformation they get through these stages.
Yes, exactly. You talk about the outcome here. And the reason you want to do that is because, if I now tell you, okay, so there's a 5-step process to growing your info agency to 100K a month. The first step is you have to do this. Second step is you have to do this. You don't care after step 5, like you're going to stop listening. So you got to make it intriguing. So here you talk about the outcome. That's right.
Okay.
Awesome. Perfect. Okay. Then we have daily schedule. This is super, super simple. There's a couple of different things that we want to keep in mind here. The first thing is that the power list that you use here is extremely important, right? Did we talk about the power list before? Are you familiar with the concept?
I don't know, actually. The power list to block the calendar or...
Not necessarily. So what power list stands for is that you have 3 activities, usually 3 to 5 activities in your day that are non-negotiables, meaning the night prior, you write down, okay, these are the 3 things that I have to finish no matter what. And everything I do afterwards, like I can do whatever. I can work more. I can also chill, spend time with friends. Doesn't matter as long as I finish my power list. And the reason as to why you want to do this is because business and entrepreneurship is a sprint. It's a sprint over a very long time, which is why if you work super hard every single day, you're going to burn out. And burnout is a real thing. It's not like, you can work every day, 14 hours a day and be perfectly fine for like 12 months. You should ideally obviously have some, I wouldn't say free time. I don't like the concept of saying that, but you get the point. You want to do 3 things. And if you have those finished, you're fine. That's the most important part to it. One thing we want to do daily is outreach. You're aware of that. Weekly, YouTube. The reason we want to do that is because we do not want to overcomplicate things. Now, in the beginning of us launching everything, it's going to take a lot more work because you have to build up the LinkedIn from scratch. You have to build up the IG from scratch, everything. But when it's in place, you're only really doing some optimizations and hitting the KPIs every day. And then it's going to be a lot easier to handle.
Okay.
Perfect. Awesome. That is that. We're going to dive into objection handling as well, because you said that that's something you want to talk about. So that's going to be sick. Let's dive into this one first. So what we need to understand here is that we essentially, with the short form content and the IG stories, we want to generate demand, nurture demand, and then convert demand, right? And all of that goes to a VSL, right? The VSL, we're going to put that in place. We're going to talk about that a bit more as well. And then afterwards, obviously we close people. Cool. For the team or team size, in the beginning, we first want to gain traction. We need proof of concept, meaning we'll build out the systems right now just with yourself. And say you have an outbound system and we have an appointment booking rate of about 2% and it stays consistent throughout days and weeks. Then we say, okay, let's get some automations in place. Let's get setters in place because now we can replicate this and do it with the team as well.
Okay.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Perfect. Awesome. Now let's check out this document quickly. I actually don't even know what this is. Keep in mind.
Keep in mind.
Share content about you and your world. This is just like a TV show. So on your Instagram, on your short form content, the worst thing you can do is only give value and only give advice, because then you build a value brand, not a personal brand. You have to introduce people to kind of who you are, your world, the characters in your world, the sets in your world, and the passions in your world, because that's what's actually going to make people not want to work with you, but that's what interests people. People don't care about the value you have to say. People care about, your, I don't know, tennis injury. You get
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Awesome. So share content about your unique ways of doing this. Tell your audience why your way is the best way and give your audience an aspirational identity to aim towards. That's important. Perfect. Now, offer and ICP. You obviously got this document for me, which essentially breaks down the offer that you had. I went through this entire thing and listed out a bunch of feedback things that we're going to run through right now. So first things first, who is this for? This is point number 2. So if we check this out right here, you said, who is this for? You had ICP1 mid-level experts, so like coaches and consultants doing 5 to 30K, as I said before. And then ICP2, which is big audience creators making 30 to 100K a month. Okay. Now I broke this down. First things first, this isn't a good way to structure your ICP. And I'll tell you why. With this type of ICP, you will attract a lot of broke people. Because if you say in between 5K to 30K, you will attract a lot of people who make less than 5,000 a month.
Okay.
Think about this. If I tell you, say I sell you bread.
Yep.
And you can either pay $6 for the bread or you can pay $8 for the bread. What are you going to do? Pay 6.
True.
Right? In this case, it's the same thing. If you say 5K to 30K, a lot of people who are broke are going to feel attracted to that. It's not the people that are making 30K that are going to be like, that's my guy. It's going to be the people that are broke because they're like, oh, he's putting the bar low.
Yeah. Okay. I understand what you're meaning. That makes sense.
Okay. It really boils back down to the detail of it. So if we look at this, if you say coaches / consultants earning 20K plus, this doesn't attract brokies. It's a very similar audience and you're saying very similar things, but this attracts brokies and this attracts people that actually make money, true business owners. The reason is because this is also specific. 5 to 30K is too big of a range.
Okay.
5K a month is a struggling business owner. 30K a month is product market fit. Okay. So, you could argue about product market fit, but you get the fight. 20K a month plus, this is going to attract better people. It's more specific. It attracts business owners. This has no specificity, so it attracts brokies. What you need here is you need expert positioning. So we want to have this specific ICP, and then we want to have 2 strategic numbers that your brand actually gets connected to. Okay. So as an example, we can obviously pick this. We can also do other things. 20K a month before, and then 100K a month after. Always the plus afterwards. And you exclusively talk about those numbers. You essentially want to become the go-to guy, the number one guy that helps people get from 20 to 100, because everybody who is doing 20 is going to want to work with you rather than anybody else, because it makes you the specialist.
Yeah. And there we have the destination they want to go to.
Exactly. It's like, people, I'll give you an example about this. Repetition is key with sales teams. If you have a bigger sales team, you should ideally have 2 meetings a day with them. I think we spoke about this before.
Yeah.
Now, in those meetings, you have to consistently repeat the same shit every day, because the amount of time it takes for someone to truly understand what you're telling them is long. And what I mean by truly understand is you're actually shifting the internal belief they have about that thing. If you consistently repeat it, they're gonna have that change. It's similar here. If you consistently only talk about those numbers, people are going to associate you and your brand and your business with those numbers, and you're going to be the number one guy they go to when they're stuck at 20. Okay. As an example. Now, this is super important to understand as well. When we start out, we won't be able to like go for the highest tier clients right away like this. Obviously, you can't sign $1 million a month clients where you're at right now. So we have to consistently up the levels. I had a chat today with Tarek about this, for example. He also told me you essentially have to increase the quality of people you work with, drop off the bottom, increase again, drop off the bottom. And that's what you consistently do to climb.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Now we have proven case studies and client quality here. So what I mean by that is super simple. The more proven case studies you have, the higher the client quality becomes over time, right? So we consistently increase the levels that we're targeting people at. Now, on point number 4, where you talked about the 4 offers, you obviously got that from Hormozi's book.
Yeah.
What I wanted to emphasize on here is this. There's nothing wrong with everything you're doing there. Just make sure that you're focused on your core service, because you're right now in a situation where the main problem you have is traffic. So you thinking about, having an attraction offer and an upsell offer and a downsell and a continuity, like it's too much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You should be super simple with it. You have one offer, you target one ICP, you focus on getting good traffic. And when you're on the call with someone and they're actually not a fit for the main product, then you just personalize the solution to them, because the business is at a stage right now where you don't optimize for efficiency, you optimize for as much money as possible. And you do that by being personal, by being one-on-one, by being there and spending time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Awesome. Perfect. So again, at the start of your business, keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
One core offer, stack proof and authority, do good marketing, have a confident sales process, deliver kick-ass results, and then roll it back into the marketing. For the offer structure, we focus on the high ticket offer, obviously.
Yeah.
The remaining offers are downstream. When you're on the call, you're going to be able to tell, okay, what type of solution fits this person the best. So don't worry about that too much. Everything makes sense so far, right? Do you have any questions about anything?
No, it makes sense. But that's also the thing that I struggle the most is this overthinking. You see the next shiny object, okay, and it makes sense to have like those 4 offers, but maybe it makes sense in a different stage. And that's the kind of way of thinking that's sometimes holding me back. Sometimes it's like inspiration, and now it gets clearer now. Also, it's for sure
easy. This is super important. I wrote this down on some of the 5 documents that we're going to dive into in just a second here as well. But I've noticed, bro, when I went through all of the documents like this one that you sent to me, I've just seen that you're the type of guy to like plan and like think through every single tiny detail. The reality of it is, bro, that there's a lot of people in this world with good ideas. Very, 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 very few can actually execute.
Mm-hmm.
And the executors, the people that actually do the things every day consistently for days, weeks, months, and years and decades, those are the ones who succeed, right? How often have, I don't know what your parents do or maybe people around you, how often have you heard people that have nothing going for them business-wise, they only work a job, tell you they had this great idea, right?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
So that was also where I am.
How often do you hear people complaining about this one football player and how he should do things differently and he played it wrong there? Bro, he fucking knows. Like, do you know how hard it is to actually do what he's doing? Probably not. So
it's true.
Execution is what matters.
Theory is always the easier part, but doing it then and the practical stuff, it's
exactly.
Yeah.
That's the hard part, bro. Executing without knowing what the result is going to be. Yeah. Now, the systems we're building, they give us reliability, which is good. But at the end of the day, I can give you the best systems in the world. If you don't execute every day, it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
Because that's what brings the success.
Also, getting comfortable being uncomfortable. Yes,
exactly.
I think that's also like a thing that's really, really important to learn and to master. So.
Exactly. I'm uncomfortable all the time, bro. Like I'm constantly in this loop of getting things done, planning the next stuff, because I know that there's things on the line, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You kind of have to be in a situation where, I don't want to call it zero options mentality. It sounds cheesy, but the point is that if you're not committed to it, then no one's going to care.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, focus here is super simple. We just want to get our foot in the door. That's the number one thing. From there, we build skills and deliver amazing results. That's really it, right? That's the number one focus we have. The thing we have to do is just get the first client, just the first client. And if we have that, we're good. Okay? Perfect.
Build skills and deliver.
Yes, sir. Exactly. Couple of quick notes to this. First things first, I have this here, reach out to big prospects, focus on them. What I mean by that is this. There's no problem with you reaching out to high-level people. We're right now saying you should reach out to people doing 20K a month. That's fine. If you reach out to someone making 500K a month, it's still cool. It's just not the focus, right?
Okay.
An ICP and an ideal client isn't an ICP or an ideal client for, the sake of having one or because you only work with these people. It's just good for your marketing. But let's be real right now. If right now we decide, okay, we're going to target info products making $20,000 a month, you're right now in a situation where the business isn't there yet, pretty much.
Yeah.
For that reason, if we now have someone coming in who's like a plumbing business and they need help building out their landing page and a couple of things for them, bro, you're not going to say no to the money because it builds your skills, it helps them, and you're going to make money off it.
Exactly.
Right now, you're in a situation, and I genuinely believe if you make less than 10 to 20K a month, you just take whatever you get. And that's okay. So we focus on the ICP that we have, but there's no issue with us talking to people and working with people outside of that until we're at a certain scale. Because at a certain scale, and in my opinion, this happens at about 20 to 30,000 a month, you get too big to do that because there's going to be too much complexity. Then you actually need to focus on one offer, one ICP, and only work with those people and say no to the rest of the money. Okay?
Yeah.
Easy. Perfect. Now, one big one. Make money online niche, weird niches. Okay? Why did I write that down? I wrote that down because probably one of the worst niches you could get into in info products is the make money online niche. There are so many people trying to target those people that it's just not going to work out for you. So what we do, and we use AI for this, we literally just write down, I run an agency, actually, let's say marketing agency, working with info products. I don't want to work with the make money online niche. What are some sub-niches of info products that are a big enough market to make, say, just $1 million a month, so the market is big enough, have tons of people in big pain for my solution? Say the next one would be that they're easy to find. And then, growing market isn't relevant. Like for some reference, the info product industry right now, we're at a valuation of about 280 billion. In 10 years, it's going to be 2 trillion.
That's
so
crazy.
It's going to be bigger than like pharma, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure, like very big. So the growth of this market isn't really a problem. You could probably make this prompt, by the way, more specific, but just as an example. Now he's giving you a bunch of niches that are way better to get into than like make money online. These people aren't being reached out to much. And if you reach out to them with a good pitch format, which we're going to go over, then that's a home run right there. Perfect. Now, if we go back to this, so that's weird niches. ICP, again, I actually spoke about this before. ICP is marketing. It's not a requirement. The ICP we use for the content and the ads. It's not something that we necessarily need to rely on. We can also sign people in other niches. That's perfectly fine in the beginning. Cool. Don't have super high standards for who you exactly work with. You're making below 10K a month, so you should have no shame talking to everyone you can, figuring out deals, and just getting your foot in the door in any way, shape, or form. This doesn't mean that you shouldn't position yourself as an authority. You 100% should do that. This just means that at the start, you aren't telling yourself you're only going to work with X type of client. Okay? Perfect. Now, if we go back to this, let me just see what we dive into next and what's smart. Do you have any questions so far?
Actually, it's pretty clear and structured well, so.
Awesome, bro. Love to hear that. So we're now going to dive into some objection handling, which I built out a very nice sheet for. It's pretty big, so we're going to dive into that right now. You see. Oh, there we go. Okay. So we have a couple of different things here. Let me actually just open it up. This is quite small. There we go. So if we look at this, we have objection, we have the framework behind how it works, and then we have the rebuttal. The reason as to why I'm putting this in here is because there's two types of objections that I wrote down. The first one are objections of seasoned business owners, people that are actually already making good money and doing well. And the second type of objection is like broke people objections. Okay, so you have both. I'll send this to you as well, by the way. What happens if you go out of business? Here you just want to make them understand that they take all sorts of risk in their life in regards to personal, for example, driving a car, and in regards to business, for example, hiring new staff, other investments, etc. So you can just tell them, this is just another risk. I encourage you to do it anyway. If you're too risk adverse, this might not be a good opportunity for you, blah, 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 right? You can see the entire objection handle right here. I have a bunch of these. Do you feel like there's any of these that you would specifically want to dive into? So we have, how do I know my money is safe? Can I speak to the owner? How can you guarantee that I'll make money? Why are you better than everybody else? You can just read through it a bit and let me know which one you think is.
So actually, I think how you can guarantee that I'll make money, and why are you better than everybody else? For sure, at the beginning, those are some objections that I'm going to face, I think. And I think those are the most important one, because for sure, for now, I don't have like client results. So I need to solve this objection or handle this objection in kind of a clever way to close those and to build also the trust with the future clients or the prospect there.
Easy.
And those are...
Makes sense, bro. Awesome. Then let's dive into those first. So how can you guarantee that I'll make money? For an info product, you want to position this as a protagonist versus an antagonist. Okay. So what I mean by that is if you sell info, you can just tell them, well, look, I don't guarantee that you'll make money because, to be frank with you, not everybody who signs up with me makes money. And the reason being is because my systems work, they work for me and they work for all of my successful clients. The problem is some people are lazy. They don't implement, they don't execute, and that's why they don't see results. And that's the truth. So this is for info. If you're talking about a more sophisticated business or say a more technical business, like an investor business, automation business, these types of things, you usually have a money back guarantee. Or the third option for it is you can just say, we can't. We can simply do everything within our control to increase the probability of result as much as possible.
Okay.
Those are the three ways: protagonist versus antagonist, having a money back guarantee, or saying we can't, we can only increase probabilities. Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Now, why are you better than everybody else? First things first, just be better, state the facts and reasons. Second thing, this comes down to your positioning. So I'll give you an example here of a rebuttal that you can use. Bugatti versus Koenigsegg versus LaFerrari, they're all great, but they have different specifics to them. So for you, John, this is really something that comes down to your preferences. We find that the person that is most attracted to our offer and us is this type of person. And we think that you fit the bill. You want to get started. So you're giving them a perspective here, which is that, you know, you're better than everybody else, firstly. But secondly, even if you weren't, usually this comes down to preferences and what's important to you, right? I don't know much about this, but like a Koenigsegg, in my opinion, looks better. A Bugatti might be faster. Right? As an example, it's just what's important to you. In my opinion, you fit exactly what we have. What you want is what we have. And that's how you frame it. Okay?
Okay.
Perfect. Now we have a couple of other ones. We can just run through that. I'd rather get started next quarter. I have to get my lawyer to review this. My business partner and I will need to review this. Traveling next week. Let's move forward next week. Yes.
For sure, those stall objections.
So
I mean, those are like, I don't know, I need to think about it. Let's talk about it in a week. I need to check this one. And I think those started objections are also like classics, let's say. And for sure also the money objections.
Okay.
Well, actually, I don't think it depends. If you work with those clients that are making like the 5K or below, so the broke people, there, the money objections for sure there. But I don't know if it's true, but I think that if I'm going to work with clients or with the bigger clients, the money objections is not the case anymore. Maybe like you need to present that it's valuable so that you have, or that the money that I'm charging is 100% correctly invested in. I think that's an objection that you need, or I'm going to have with like bigger clients, but with the smaller clients, maybe the money objection would also be a case.
Money objections, like it really depends. Money objections usually come from a lack of trust.
Okay.
I'll give you an example about this. Real Madrid has cash flow issues. Because I don't know exactly what happened, but I think they were paying for Ronaldo even years after he left. Even huge companies have cash flow issues. So it's not like, having money to pay is a normal thing. If you're running a business that makes 10K a month, you might buy a solution for 10 grand, and that's a lot of money to you. If you're making 100K a month or 1 million a month, you need more sophisticated solutions and the value is bigger to you. So people might charge you 100 grand or 200 or 300 grand. So like the money objection can really appear at any instance, but it's never a money thing. It's always, always, always a trust thing. Because at the end of the day, bro, like if, you've probably heard this before. If I sell you a Ferrari that's worth 400 grand for 20K, even if you're like 100 grand in debt, you're going to find 20K to pay because you get the return.
Yeah, for sure.
About a trust thing. So for the I need to think about it objection, I have a essentially walkthrough of how to do this. The first thing you always need to do is you have to have agreeable acknowledgement in place and isolate the objection. So here what you can do is you can say something like, yeah, no worries, man. Besides you actually thinking about it, just in terms of the program, do you feel like it's capable of getting you where you want to go?
Okay, you switch the roles there.
Exactly. So like you say, okay, makes sense. And then you ask him, besides price, just looking at the program, do you like it? Then they say yes. In this case, you get them to talk well about it. So in that case, you can ask something like, okay, what have you seen that makes you say that, just so we're on the same page? And now they talk good about the program, which pushes them more into the direction of the close.
Yeah.
You always want to see the sales process as a thing of they don't know you till close. If you ask a question like that, they're going to move further to the close. And the further you move, the higher the likelihood of them saying yes. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, they said, okay, price aside, I'm on board, like I like it. And I like it for this and this and this reason. Now you need to dig out the true objection, meaning you can say something like, okay, so what is it that you specifically need to think about just to see how I can help? Now they're very likely going to give you the actual reason. Now you know what the problem is and you can now handle it. So super simple 3-step process. And then at the end, if it's a money objection and they actually don't have the money, payment plan or financing. If it's, a terms and agreements, a terms and conditions objection, handle that. If it's a logistical issue, handle that. You'll find out and then you can handle it. Makes sense, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, another one, you said stalls. So I need to talk to my wife. I assume that's a big one as well.
Yeah. A business partner or something like this, I think. Yeah.
Okay. This is all pretty much similar, but one thing I would say for the business partner side of things, oftentimes you need to book a call with them because the problem is this. With a wife, there's no real power that the wife has to make the decision. So you need to make them realize that. With a business partner, it might be a decision that they both need to make. And so with a business partner, oftentimes the smartest thing you can do is actually book in a second call. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Perfect. Now, if we say wife, for example, you want to associate the purchase with what the wife would want. Okay. So you can say something like, okay, so question for you there, man. How does she feel about you getting the skills you need so that you can support the family? Is she supportive of it or not? And if they say she's supportive, then you dive deeper into the financial commitment, right? If she has been, for example, supportive of other investments he made into the business, so you see what the situation looks like. Then you ask what he would decide if she was on the call and support him in doing this. Right? And then they probably say, yeah, I would do it. And then you can go into permission versus support. You can ask her, okay, makes sense. I mean, are you really looking for your wife's permission to do this or just like a support because you want her to support you? Now you get the real objection. Okay. So permission versus support would sound something like this. Okay, cool, man. So just as an FYI conversation, so is this just an FYI conversation or do you genuinely need her permission to spend money? Okay.
Yeah.
And then we have, okay, so when you do go to her and talk about this with her, what do you feel might come up? And when you say that, they're going to say what their objection is, and then you can handle it.
Okay.
Perfect.
So you dig deep in. Yeah.
Exactly. So You essentially, you look at the situation that they're in with their wife. They ask, okay, what would you do if she was in? You then ask whether they want her permission or her support, and then you get the real objection. Okay, I don't have the money. Here, perspective shift is super important. So you can, for example, say, aside from this and this and this and everything else like that you just told me, you really just got to ask yourself one question, which is, which would be riskier? You saying exactly where you're at, preventing yourself from doing anything and continuing to make the money you're making now? Or would it be risky to overcome the hurdle, overcome all of those limitations and start gaining the skills you need so everything that you just gave me completely dissolved like you know it would? Which is more risky? So you really reverse the risk on them and give them a perspective shift here. You make them realize that it's not about having the money. It's that not having the money is the consequence of what the real issue is. Then you get commitment from them and bring in financing or payment plans. So this is a couple of examples. If there's any other objections that you want to dive into, you can let me know. Otherwise, we can also proceed.
No, it's good for now, I think.
Easy, bro. Awesome. And these ones, obviously, when we do call reviews as well, we can also handle these in detail on the call itself so that we can see exactly how you're handling it in real time. Perfect. So that was objection handling. Now, I want to dive into something pretty cool as well, which is thumbnails. We talked about YouTube and the structure of the videos. For thumbnails, have you ever used AI to actually create these?
Not AI, no.
Okay.
Usually I use like Canva or something like this, yeah.
Got you. You should use AI. This is, by the way, this is just an example. It can look a lot better than this. But you can actually use a process where you literally just use Sora. So you need ChatGPT Plus for it. And you use Canva, the plugin. And it takes you like 5 minutes and you have a very professional thumbnail. So the way this works is super simple. The first step you need to take is you literally just open up Photo Booth. Let me just go out of this quickly. You literally just open up Photo Booth like this. There we go. Now what you want to do, I think my laptop is a bit too slow to show this real time, to be honest. You do the post, whatever you want to do. You take the photo. Now you have it here. You download the photo. And now you put the photo into Sora. And you put it in a prompt. For example, this one. A viral YouTube thumbnail. Center, young entrepreneur smiling at the camera. Background is light, blue, gradient, color palette. Add blur to the background to create depth. Ultra cinematic and realistic, ultra detailed, viral YouTube thumbnail with glows, contrast, popping bright colors, add a cinematic grain overlay on top of everything, as an example. And then it gives you options like these two. For example, this looks fucking crazy, bro.
But it gives you options.
Exactly. This one is obviously better. Now, what you do is you take this. Now, this is important. I just took this, guys, I don't even know who he is, template as an example. What you can do if you want to get like really, really good thumbnail templates, you can buy Ali Abdaal's thumbnail templates for like 35 euros, I think.
Okay.
And you get like 40 different ones. Same concept. You get the thumbnail template, you put it into Canva. What you now do is you remove all of the background. This can be done with one click literally, so it's super easy. And now you want to add in your picture above this. Now you go into the layers and you drag and drop the layers so that the one with the background is at the third stage and the one without the background is at the top layer. And then it looks like this. Super easy. Now, the only thing that would make this thumbnail better is if I iterated the prompt a bit more and made it look better, but you can literally create thumbnails exactly like this dude and all of the other big guys that have sick ass thumbnails within 5 minutes just with that process.
Okay, that's new to me, but it's great.
I would say so. So that's pretty sick. You just gotta play around with the prompt a bit and then you're gonna get pretty sick thumbnails from that. So that's that. And you don't even need like a camera because the AI makes you look like higher quality.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So yeah, easy. Awesome. Now we have service and outreach that we're going to dive into. And then I think that's most of what I have here. Let's dive into outreach first things first. So the first thing you asked me about outreach was whether you should go generic or personalized. You should go personalized. Okay. As a quick answer. Now, for the outreach strategy, we're going to combine two different elements here. We're going to combine the perfect cold video pitch with the evergreen VSL. Now, what I want to do is I want to watch through your specific video and I want to give you real-time feedback based on everything that I've already put down here already. Can you open up the video on your laptop quickly so we can play it?
Yes, I think it's
Perfect.
okay. Videos. What's this exactly? If you're seeing this video, it's because you
Can already pause a bit. So, first things first, I actually texted you this before. Format,
exactly.
big one. Head, I saw this as well. If you actually go full picture here, you can see that a bit later down in the video, your head, or now you're looking down. There we go.
Yeah.
It's chopped off. That's not good. You want to make sure that there's always like a slight bit of space above your head in the video. Script framework, I texted you this as well. We don't want to use a script for the video at all. We want to use a framework. So like 5 or 10 step framework that you run through so you can actually speak in a very authentic way and just go through it in a fluid way as well. Now, you want to, and this is super important, you want to say things only when you actually need to say them. Because in this particular video, you're saying a lot without substance behind it. Okay? And what I mean by that is like, have you ever heard politicians talk in like speeches where they say like, bro, they talk for like 30 minutes and then you're like, what the fuck did I just listen to? Like, I don't even...
nothing. Like...
Exactly. That's what you're doing in this video.
Okay.
Not in the presentation because you have the layers, but especially in the beginning, you're essentially saying, what's up? Like, obviously not that way, but you're essentially saying, what's up? Like, you know, if you want to scale your info company and grow and make a lot of money, then watch this. And it's super important because when you watch this, it's going to make you a lot of money. And then everybody makes these mistakes and I'm going to walk you through them. So like the main mistake is people need to post videos. Like that's like the level that you go in detail there. You need to have way more depth to it and only say things when they're actually super important. The first 3 to 5 seconds of the video need to be proof. That's super important because keep in mind, like the people you're reaching out to, they get a bunch of people trying to get their attention every single day. And some of them are worth their attention, but the way they pick that out is by proof. If you talk to someone who's making a bunch of money, the first thing they're going to ask you is, who have you done this for? What is the result? Give me some case studies. Now, we don't have case studies. In the beginning of the video, we need to stack proof, and we can do that in any way, right? Say, for example, if you reach out to make money online gurus who are teaching people how to build an agency, like Iman Ghazi, just like copycat in small. These types of people are going to know who Iman is, and they're going to know that he's pretty much the biggest player in that particular vertical. If you enter the video saying, this is the exact system Iman used to make $20 million with his flywheel VSL, and I actually know that this works because I had this from, you know, one of his team members, whatever that may be, that's proof. Now everything you're saying is connected to it. Okay, stack proof. Second one, plan this. Again, same thing as in videos. Give a 3 to 5 step plan. Tell people I'm gonna walk through 5 things here. Keeps them hooked. Super important. You need to include stories and visuals. In this video, if you look at the presentation as well, you're not really showing many visuals at all. You're only really having text there, and that's not a good thing. You should have bullet points only, have a lot of visuals, and tell stories, right? Okay. There's a book called All Marketers Are Storytellers. That's the book name. And what the book is about is that all marketing and sales is storytelling, because the one thing that humans love in nature, like naturally, is stories. And so if you can integrate those, you're going to get people hooked, right? Okay. That's a super important element. Again, as I already said, you're too generic in what you're saying. You need to get way more specific, especially at the start of the video. You're telling people too much stuff that's not relevant. Yeah. Okay. So if you can play this again quickly.
Yeah, sure. Go for it. If you're seeing this video, it's because you've already proven your value. But what's holding you back isn't your skill or your audience. It's the system. And that's what I want to show you. Listen, most coaches don't have a demand problem. They have a system problem. And that's why 1 month feels amazing.
Like, they don't have a demand problem, they have a system problem. Like, I get what you want to say with it. It's not like you're not saying stuff that makes sense. It's just, there's no substance behind it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, now when I'm looking at through those eyes, I fully understand what you mean, because it's like, it's a lot of fluff. You know, it's no proof, it's a lot of fluff. And if I'm in the position of the prospect, it would be like, okay, and what you want to say me now? Like, yeah, you didn't show me proof, so I don't know why I should hear you out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's coming next. So is this, because I've been looking, is this video okay? 7 minutes. What is going to tell me 7 minutes regarding those points? So I think it's important to know what it's like. If you read a book, you read the back that you know, okay, or you look through the chapters. Okay, it's like 50 chapters, makes sense. Okay, now we start reading. So you have like the journey through.
Exactly. Now, keep in mind as well, bro, like your video is already better than like 90% of people, because 90% of people don't even invest into a camera or a microphone or a setup. So like, that's already sick. Okay. But now you just gotta say the right things and show the right things. Yeah. That's super important. Be authentically you. I think we spoke about this before. Yeah. In the video, I can hear that you're trying to speak in a specific way, especially at the start. If you look at this, let me show you what I mean.
If you're seeing this video, it's because you've already proven your value. But what's holding you back isn't your skill or your audience. It's the system. And that's what I want to show you.
There we go. This like, you know, you thinking how to bring it across. Don't do that. Talk exactly like you would authentically. Okay. Like the way I'm talking right now is exactly how I am in person.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's the way you want to show yourself. First things first, the worst thing that can happen is you try to be someone you're not, and then you have a lot of eyeballs on you, and then you have to continue being someone you're not. That's fucking horrible. That's true. But the next thing as well is people can see through it. Like humans have developed so much the last thousands and tens of thousands of years that like micro expressions, you can immediately see if someone is bullshitting. Bro, there's a bunch of people out there claiming that they're making like 100 grand, 200 grand a month. Bro, I look at their eyes and I'm like, bro, fuck no. Like you don't even make 5K. Okay.
But it's true. I mean, also, I'm seeing it also if I'm looking through videos.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it by yourself, it's a little bit, it's different. Then you're a little bit like, okay, yeah, that's good. It sounds good. But yeah, now if I'm looking through the other kind of way, it's like, but clear that.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, bro, this is a lot of what consulting relies on as well. It's this third party perspective and this third party view. Yeah. Because if you look at like huge consulting companies, like for example, McKinsey & Company, bro, these guys are charging like 5 grand, 10 grand, 20 grand an hour for consulting, and they only consult enterprise level companies.
Yeah.
Bro, let's be real for a second. What the fuck can you tell BMW how to run their processes? Like, how would you know better than them? The only reason you know better is because you have an objective, rational, third-party perspective. I spoke about, for example, Mr. Tariq earlier, and I had a chat with him today, bro. He told me he went into one company that he did like a keynote for. They paid him like 15K for like 2 hours. And in that keynote, the only thing he told them is that they have to fire, out of 60 salespeople they have to fire 54.
And the salespeople behind said, oh,
yeah, no. That was the only thing he told them. They grew massively after that. Why? Because he looked at the company and he looked at the numbers. He didn't know the people in the company. He didn't care because he doesn't know them. And it's not a thing of, you know, him just being like an emotionalist guy that just fires a bunch of people. What I mean by that is like, he can look at it from a third party perspective and see what's good and what's not. When it's your own thing, you don't see it as much.
You have these feelings and everything, and those third party perspective is like the objective perspective that's truly seeing what's working and what's not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure with this video, for example, I could do a bunch of things better. I'm sure this is not perfect, but it's way easier for you to pinpoint that than for me.
Yeah.
I assume, right? When you watch it from the outside. Now, this usually comes from all of the content that we've personally consumed and us trying to adopt the specific way of talking of authority figures that we watch on a daily and weekly basis. Bro, that's something that I did in the beginning as well. Bro, I tried to speak like fucking Iman Ghazi in the beginning. Okay, guys. Like, you know, trying to have the same hand gestures and talk the same way, but it doesn't work like that. You need to be fully unapologetically the most raw version of yourself. Exactly like you are, talk like you do, say exactly what you want to say, and speak your opinion out loud. The people that make a lot of money are usually thought leaders. It's people that have unique opinions about things that are pretty common, and they speak it out loud and they don't care.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. Now, next one, have way less text. If we look at like the presentation, this is way too much text. People, you know, bro, in school presentations, for example, you should always have bullet points, have visuals. But do you remember like when you did a school presentation and then the class was asked to give feedback and then they said, yeah, I liked the way he showed pictures.
Yeah. It's always the same, but it was always the visuals. Yeah.
Exactly.
Always the kind of how you did it.
Exactly. Because if you have visuals and you tell stories and you have a couple of bullet points, people pay attention to you and they have supportive material. So have way less text, focus on bullet points only. The rest should be visuals. Wrap everything you're saying into proof, the umbrella. We spoke about this before. Yep. You're nervous a bit in the video as well, which doesn't serve you much. You need to be chill when doing it, right? Us doing this right now, this is very calm for me. I'm not trying to like speak differently than I normally do. So like be laid back, be relaxed. Don't care whether the person you're reaching out to responds or not, because it will come across like that. And that's what gets them to reply. Pretend like the camera is a buddy of yours. This is like a small tip that helps a lot. For all of the things you're saying, you, for example, talked about teasing a certain event in stories. Yep. Always show an example. So like, don't say tease stuff in stories, say, this is how you do it. And then walk through it, right? That's how you get into detail and you show people what it looks like, because everybody can speak about the how-to. Bro, if you want to get jacked, go to the gym and eat less. Like everybody can say that, right? But if you go into detail and show exactly what meals you make, like if you record yourself meal prepping and showing exactly how you do it, then it's like, damn, this guy knows what he's doing, right?
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Easy. Awesome. And again, this ties back into you doing things and having people follow what you're doing rather than saying things, because people don't follow what you say. They follow what you do. Perfect. You're talking too much theory. It seems like you don't really know what you're talking about, even though you might know it. We talked about this before. Yep. Be more specific. Spend time funnel hacking. This is an action step that I'm going to give you later on as well. Spend some time investigating a bunch of people's funnels, bro. Like literally, if you look at like 100 different info product owners in the space and you look at their emails, their landing pages, their VSLs, everything they do, then you're going to know what a good funnel looks like. Meaning you can bring it across on sales calls and you can implement it very well for clients because you know exactly what works. Click through their stuff, right? That's the easiest way. You can even do this in other niches, by the way. Look at their landing pages, VSLs, strategies they use, lead magnets, book calls with them, see the reminder sequences they send, literally everything they do, even down to the sales calls, right? Use big offers for this that ideally do $1 million a month plus. And there's usually, depending on the niche you're in, there's like 5 to 100 if it's a huge industry, probably 5 to 100 people that make that. So just investigate those.
Okay.
You can then also include these people in your videos because you investigated them so much, you know the ins and outs of it. Body language. If we look at, by the way, is it fine if I?
Yeah, sure.
If we look at this, there we go. You see this?
Mm-hmm.
When you put the leg up like that, it's defensive body language. It's a primal way to protect yourself. Again, same thing, because humans have been around for so long, we can tell when someone is defensive, offensive, certain or not, confident or not. This happens subconsciously through micro movements in their eyes and body language. Like you putting up the leg like that, it shows that you're a bit uncomfortable with talking to the camera or talking about a certain thing right now. And it's not something people pick up on consciously because most people don't know about the stuff or don't think about it, but they do pick it up subconsciously.
Yeah. You get this feeling. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's super important. Talk specific numbers. In the video, oftentimes you said like 6 figures or 7 figures. Make sure that you say like 150K a month, $1 million a month, and these things, right? The main takeaway here is be more specific. Don't say opening limit, oh, this is about the call to action. Yeah. Don't say that you're opening up limited spots if it's not real scarcity. Because, bro, people can tell, like, you're saying we're opening up limited spots. People know that it's not true.
Okay.
And what you want to do there, because scarcity is a good thing. It's good that you say that. You just have to say it differently. Say the exact number of people that you can still take on and be truthful about it. Again, people can see through the stuff. Like, if you say, okay, done for you with this system right now, I could probably, like, right now with the workload and all of the other work you have, like 5 clients, say 5.
It's true in general. Yeah, it's true scarcity then.
Exactly. And true scarcity works. So that's important, right? And again, it's not even that this isn't true. It's not that this is a lie, but because it's not specific enough, people are going to think this guy's bullshit.
Yeah.
So that's that. Clear call to action. In the end of the video, you were saying like either do this or do that, or I can talk to your team. Never mention many different things in the call to actions. Always mention one thing, because if you mention multiple, they're not going to act. If there's only one way to move forward and no other, it's very easy for them to go through that process. Okay. So you say, if you want to have a chat, book a call here, or whatever that may be, but one specific thing they can do. So that's super important. That's for the feedback on the VSL. This is how we can improve it. What we're going to do from here is you take action on all of this feedback. Again, you get access to all of these resources, and then you send the pitches to me and we see what it looks like. We iterate it and then we start sending.
Okay.
Perfect. This is obviously an evergreen VSL, not the personalized ones. What we're going to do is we're going to focus heavily on the evergreen ones because you are very busy time-wise. And as many personalized ones as we can do, we will send. But getting this one like right first is the most important part to it. Perfect. Now, perfect. And this is kind of the system that we want to run here, right? Having the assets being sent every day, say 20 a day or 30 a day.
Yeah.
When the ABR, the appointment booking rate, is within KPI, we then put in automations and setters and scale the system from there. Perfect. Now we have the service that we still need to run through. And then obviously we have important things to note. We have action steps. Let me see whether there's anything else that I forgot about. I think that's it so far. Do you have any questions thus far?
No, I think the service is going to be maybe the biggest one now.
Okay, let's see. So service, super important. You gave me this delivery document right here.
Yeah.
Okay, for this one in particular, I walked through the entire thing. Again, same thing. I talked about this before. You're way too focused on the theory of it before you really implemented anything. What you need to do there is you need to use this asset strategically in the sales process because it's a good way to convert people. So this is like a bit of feedback for the service. What we're going to do is we're going to walk through this. From there, I want to dive into some more specifics on some ends. For example, I want to dive into some specifics on, videos, for example, YouTube videos. If you have any questions about that, anything that's needed to make sure you have full clarity, we're going to dive into that. So delivery feedback document, phase 1, strategic foundations. This is days 1 to 10. This is what you said in this document right here. There we go.
Yeah.
Now this is way too long. You should this should be finished day 1.
Okay.
Day 2 at the latest. The reason for this is because of buyer's remorse. You've heard about that before, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is especially true in high ticket sales, so anything above 3,000. And then speed of implementation results in the first 1 to 2 weeks determine the client's satisfaction. Okay, so like this one, day 1, bro. Phase 2, you said 11 to 30. This one has to be finished 2 to 5.
Okay.
3 days at maximum. Put together a flowchart on Figma and then leverage the asset on sales calls. So let's just check this out so I can give you some more context to this. Point number 2. There we go, silent demand launch. So here you're talking about like the launch plan, the calendars, you're talking about the freebie assets, the Typeform funnel, the content creation, email warm-up, all of these specific things. Put all of that on a flowchart, right? Like the one we're walking through right now. There's different types of people and different types of people consume information in a different type of way.
Yeah.
Some people understand and digest information in a visual way, some in an auditory way, some in an empathetic way. What you want to do is you want to appeal to all of them. If you have a flow chart that exactly lays out what is being said, then people are going to be able to follow along way better. You want to leverage this asset on sales calls when needed. Text only, again, is too confusing. Marketing assets have to speak 5th grade language. This, bro, I didn't even fucking get it when I read through it the first time. Okay?
Okay, yeah.
So like with these types of things, simplify. That's super important. Show, don't tell. Include stories, examples, visuals, results. All people want to know is that you will deliver on the outcome. Keep in mind, population is 25% auditory, 35% visual, 40% kinesthetic. Okay. For that reason, again, make sure that you have it simple and you appeal to every part of the population. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, next one, phase 3, days 31 to 45. This should be day 5 to day 15. 10 days is more than enough for landing page, mini VSLs, YouTube strategy, retargeting setup. Small adjustment as well. Don't use the word funnel, use the word landing page, because most people confuse those two. They're different things. A funnel is the entire system you take a stranger through until they convert.
Yeah.
And a landing page is just a part of the process where they watch the VSL, opt in and book. It's a part of it. Phase 4, 46 to 90 plus. This is actually day 15 ongoing. Timeline here is pretty strict, as you've seen, but this just ensures that your clients are happy and you're moving at a high pace, okay? This will increase client results and you only focus on what matters. This is super important. If you give yourself like a week to onboard them, then you're going to focus on a bunch of stuff that doesn't matter. But if you have a day for it, you're only going to do the things that actually yield a return.
Yeah.
Going back to the story with Tariq before, it was a 15K payment. He could have done fucking 2 hours presentation and then like a 10-hour walkthrough of whatever, but it wouldn't have made them more money. It's never about how much you do. It's always about the result you get. So if you give yourself less time, you're only going to focus on the result rather than looking good.
Okay.
Perfect. Speed and momentum are exciting. True A players feel drawn towards that. Keep that in mind, right? So if you want to work with A player clients, if they see that you're quick with things, that's going to be a pro and increased likelihood of conversion. Keep in mind, you're not always implementing the exact solution you laid out. You need to sell the client what they want, provide them with the solution they need on the back end. Okay. If you want to build a sales team, if they want to build a sales team, that's exactly what you sell them. Because also through us working together right now, bro, you have access to all of that stuff. Either I can help you solve it or I know someone who can. And because of that, like, you need to become a true salesperson.
Okay.
That's really it.
And debottlenecking also, like, well, discovering the bottleneck of their business and then giving them the solution for this bottleneck.
Exactly. Like, don't get me wrong, the system and the process you have is good, but in the beginning, go personalized, look at exactly what's their problem, and then sell them the solution to that. Okay. Nothing else needs to be done. On the back end, they might not only need closers and setters, their entire offer structure might be bad, their landing pages might suck and be fucked as well, and then fix all of it. So like, you could sell them a sales team on the front end, and then on the back end, do the sales team plus landing page plus offer. And that's just going to make you exceed expectations and deliver amazing results, which leads to better case studies, better marketing, and more referrals, which is sick. So the takeaway for this is you don't go through the same process with every client. Every business you'll work with has different pains, desires, and needs. Based on their specific business structure, you only focus on the lowest hanging fruits. Fast results, less work. The client doesn't care how much work you do. You can work on the project for 4 hours a month. If the results are in place, they will not care.
100% true, yeah.
Perfect. So that's a couple of things on the delivery side of things. Now, any questions, anything you want to dive deeper into?
It's like, this makes sense that I need to focus on the low-hanging fruits. But at the beginning of it, what's going to hook them, you know? Because, like, obviously, I don't know what's the low-hanging fruit of their business unless I get, like, 1 or 2 calls with them. So, at the beginning, how can I attract to them without being specific to their pains? So to their specific business pain, that it's, for example, I don't know, John has his sales team problem and Tom has a problem with his marketing. I don't know.
2 things. First thing, what you're doing is you're gambling. Like there's 10 people and the solution you walk through is your flywheel authority dingsbums. And you essentially show that, and some people are going to find it interesting, some not. The cool thing is that a lot of people are going to find it interesting and hop on a call, even though that's not even the solution they need. With a lot of them, it's just an issue of, something else, but they find it interesting. So like, my point being, it's not possible to talk about the exact problem they have in an evergreen VSL. It's possible to do that in a personalized one. So what we're doing here is really gambling, but that's perfectly fine. We just want to get them hooked in enough. And the way we hook them in is always proof.
Okay,
bro, even like, because the system you have, it encompasses a lot. It encompasses like, landing pages and all of that stuff. So like, if you talk about that stuff, they might only need a part of it, or they might find the system cool, or maybe they fucking like fuck with you because they're like, oh, this is a cool guy, cool setup, I want to talk to him. Then you build these relationships. Bro, the first couple of clients I signed for my agency back in the days, I didn't sign them because I had like the best outreach method. I signed them because I was consistently talking to people. What we're doing is we're optimizing for you getting into as many conversations as humanly possible, and that are inevitably going to lead to money in the bank. And then over time, we have good acquisition rolling. So that's like the basic of it. But to have people interested, proof, number one thing. Yeah. And the other one is it's just a gamble. But that's fine. You got to keep in mind with cold outreach, bro, you're really doing like the worst part of an agency, in my opinion, in the beginning. And the reason is this: with ads, people are kind of warm. They've seen your face before. They like your offer. With content, they're inbound. They're fucking sick. Inbound leads are very easy to convert. Bro, cold outreach, these people don't know who you are. You have no proof. And this is the biggest one, you're trying to get in a conversation with them, meaning your authority is here. They're just there at the beginning of the sales call. So you have to be really fucking good to convert cold audiences. But because you do this in the beginning, this is like the hardest part. This is going to take the longest time. The first client is the hardest you're ever going to sign. And then it's just a flywheel effect from there. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So what we need to do is really just get into the momentum. We need proof of concept. We need just one client, money to come in. And when that's done and when that's rolling, then things will progress faster.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a bit of insight on that. And let me just zoom out here. There we go. Perfect. Awesome. Any other questions about that?
Not yet, actually, makes sense.
Perfect.
Kind of get it.
Awesome. I have a lot of action steps written down for you, so we'll dive into those in a second, and then we'll go over anything relevant afterwards. Just check this. So a couple important notes. When I was going, this was the thing I was speaking about before. When I was going through your sheets, I got the vibe that you're a master at planning stuff out. It's a good skill to have. The problem is that every single person has great ideas and can put together a really good looking business plan. The issue is 99% of these people cannot execute. And that's why they never see any sort of success. It's good that you're putting together a plan, and you should, but at the end of the day, the success of your business and your client's business is 99% dependent on how well you execute. Being able to execute comes down to momentum and reflecting on improvements. Okay. We build momentum through the daily actions we take, and then we reflect on what we can make better, what we have to adjust. Focus on execution over everything else, then reflect once a day on what direction you should head into, what's working, what's not working, and what you need to do more of. You need to connect your system to the results of the big competitors of your ICP, right? Because we don't have case studies.
Yeah.
The problem is that you're positioning yourself as an expert for this one system, which encompasses all of these different services. And the system is perfectly fine and can get great results, but you need to make sure that you connect your system to a bunch of proof. What most try to do when they start out is saying, I'm going to do everything for you. And they think it's an appealing offer. But the problem is when you make an offer like that, it's like, people know that that's a lot of competency that you have to have. And for that reason, it's an easy sale on service, but a very hard sale on you.
Yeah.
If there's no proof backing you up as someone who's actually good at this, people aren't going to believe. There are 3 sales you have to make. You, the service, themselves. The service is easy. Like selling something like, I'll do everything for you for like little money, that's fucking sick. But selling your competency on being able to deliver this is very hard. Okay. With your service, it's easy to sell the service itself, blah, blah, blah. Hence, people will want to see proof. So we want to integrate that proof in your marketing efforts so that we lower the number of objections we get. Connect your unique mechanism to a bunch of great results in the industry, in your content, and in your reminder sequences. This is why, bro, like when we have, say, 6 different nice funnel breakdowns in place. Mm-hmm. And by the way, we'll iterate those as we go as well. So you record them, I give you feedback, we iterate them.
Yeah.
We have funnel breakdowns in place. We have a bunch of really, really good reminder sequences in place. And all of those pre-handle beliefs that people need to have and show a bunch of proof of other people, but that you use for yourself, then the amount of objections that are gonna come up about proof are like close to non-existent, basically.
Okay. I got way more clarity now.
Sick.
Way more clarity. And also like the delivery part was always crumbling my beliefs also, because it was like you've mentioned, for sure, everything is capable to learn and everything is capable to deliver.
Yeah.
But if I'm alone to deliver this done for you, I don't know, maybe I could handle like 2-3 clients and that's it.
Yeah.
It's not scalable. So, and also it's like a ton of work to do. But if you compromise this and the specific bottlenecks that they need to make them ASAP the most money possible, mm-hmm. I mean, that's way more attractive. If you say me, hey, listen, if I fix your door, then you never have cold at the night, so only fix my door and don't give me like, I don't know, a thermostat or something like this. So yeah, it's like simple.
100%.
But that's so profound. So yeah.
100%. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of these things are pretty simple concepts, but mm-hmm. they make a massive difference. Yeah. And in business, it's always in the details. Like, bro, I couldn't even tell you the amount of people that I see in the marketplace kind of doing the right thing, but because they don't optimize it properly and every detail is good, they lose a bunch of money and sales to the competition. Because bro, if your LinkedIn profile is really sick and ours look the exact same, but you have a better profile picture, you're going to get the sale. Like,
Yeah.
you get the point.
Yeah.
Details matter so much and people don't realize how much. So that's super important. As an entrepreneur, you gotta be in the details. You gotta be obsessed with every single tiny little detail of the business.
And also with the authenticity, because it's like, be unique. It's always, and everyone knows it, but not everyone does it.
Exactly.
It's,
bro, who has a fucking like hammering thing in the background? I don't even know what it's called. No, I'm just joking. But you get the point.
Yeah.
100%. So be authentic, be authentically yourself. Execute properly, be in the details, be actually good at what you do. Like everything that we're doing here is we're building you into a competent individual.
Mm-hmm.
And like, if I look back at since I started what I did and all of the results I've gotten, I don't really care about the money I made or am making. What I care about is the character development that I went through to get to this point. Because the character I am now would be, in theory, a way better father, way better husband, etc. So like the competence you build in business is fucking sick. And you don't really do that anywhere else. And you know why? Because business and entrepreneurship is probably the hardest career path you can choose. There's nothing harder than that. And it's one of the hardest things you're ever going to do in your life. If you want to build a big business, making tens and hundreds of millions of dollars, it's the hardest thing you'll ever do. Probably one of them.
True.
And so that's why it forces yourself to kind of, have you seen this like, it's not like a meme. It's like a GIF where the sculptor sculptors itself.
Yeah. I know.
Exactly.
From a fat to a ripped person or something like this. Yeah.
Exactly. You're both the sculptor and the sculpture at the same time when you're an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Perfect. Let's dive into action steps and then we'll break down things further from there. So first things first, you want to put together a flow chart on Figma. Figma is fucking sick, bro. Like I've used Miro, I've used Lucidchart. We talked about this before. Yeah. Figma is so much cleaner and faster. Just use Figma. It's cool. Going over exactly what you do for your delivery system A to Z. Make it based on visuals, examples, and stories. Keep in mind, you have to communicate at a 5th grade level. The reason we do this is because you can use this in A, your assets, and B, your sales calls. So what we can now, for example, do when you created this is you can put together a video that's say 5 to 10 minutes long, where you walk through exactly what you do with people or for people in that video, step by step, and you show it on that flow chart and you send it to people before the call starts and they know what you do when jumping on the call. That makes the quality of the call so much better, increases efficiency, conversion rates, and cash collected and trust. Perfect. Second one. Get clear on the exact initial number your clients are stuck at, for example, 20K a month plus, and get clear on the exact number you help people reach, for example, 150K a month plus. And then only talk about those two and no other ones. You need congruency in the funnel. I think 20 and 150 or 20 and 100 is pretty cool. I think 20 and 150 is cool. You know, your decision. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
I think I'm going with 20 to 150. It's sounding better than 20 to 100. I don't know.
I'll tell you why, because 100 is the number everybody uses.
Yeah. And that was also subconsciously. I don't know. It wasn't like I have those. So this wisdom, let's say, or this knowledge that 100 is used to everyone. But subconsciously I was like, 100 is I don't know why it's odd. I know the 100 is odd. Like, I don't know.
Exactly.
It felt better to use the 150. So I think I'm going with that.
Easy, bro. We'll do that. Now, after that, we have create a list of do's and don'ts for your ideal client. Did we do this before? Did we talk about this?
I don't know. No, as well. Actually, not, no.
Let me just grab this, bro. One sec. I have my iPad with me. Okay, perfect. So we have that in place now. So do's and don'ts is essentially a list of attributes that you want your client to have or not to have. Examples of this is my list and this constantly evolves, but this is just an example of what it could look like for you. So they don't understand marketing or online sales. That's not good. They don't pay for what you deserve or what is fair. They complain a lot and micromanage you. They do not give you reward-based incentives. This ties into the reward bias. If you know that there's a reward for you doing work, then you're more likely to do it faster. They disrespect your time and your team's time. They're chaotic in their business and personal lives. They're constantly complaining about anything. They don't want to spend more on profitable marketing. They think small, and this will shrink your thinking as well. They're emotional and annoying. They do not understand results you get them. They treat others around them poorly. They're not willing to put in work to be successful. They think marketers are miracle workers and make it so they never have to work again. They try to pay you in equity when they didn't get results yet, unwilling to pay a service fee. They eat poorly. This obviously constantly evolves. The do's would be respects our work, understands our work, willing to put in the work, cares about results, not time and effort, has a small team already, people who already have assets to work with us. We are rainmakers, not handymen. We cannot come into a business like we could, but it's not worth the effort. We can't come into a business and fix everything.
Yeah.
Like we ideally want a structure to be there, and we come in and we make it rain with eyeballs and traffic. We want people who have deep pockets, and then we have, I think it was here. Yes. We want clients who offer reward-based incentives. They view us as an expert as we are. They take smart actions quickly. We want people to operate on data, not opinion. We want people who are willing to invest in necessary tools, resources, and coaching. We want people who hold us accountable to perform. We want people who respect our time. We want smart clients only. They like money more than being right. They are willing to invest in our success. They put the work in required to be successful. They're already making lots of money and want to make it more. They have a good team and they want to invest into making that team great. That's an example.
Okay.
So you want to put together that list as well so you know exactly who you work with. Okay?
Yeah.
Or who you want to work with. That's super important. Now, next point. There we go. Research weird niches with AI and start targeting those in your outreach. So just put together a list, go through it step by step, see what's easy to target, find the one that you want to stick with. Be fluid with this. The exact niche doesn't matter much because building webinars, landing pages, book a call funnels, content, whatever we build, it's all pretty similar. So it's not a problem. Put together a simple landing page plus VSL plus lead magnet. Put it in your bio to collect opt-ins. This is a nice one that we can do. It's not high priority, but we want to do this all the time to have a professional appeal and actually get leads on autopilot pretty much. Every single evening, get clear on your power list for the next day. This is huge. Getting done with these things is a non-negotiable for you now. Every day, okay?
Yeah.
And if you don't, then I'm going to come to Basel. Perfect. Funnel hack the fuck out of a lot of offers in the industry and get into the weeds there. You need to gain more detailed knowledge. Optimize your social media profiles as we spoke about. Send 20 perfect cold video pitches, mainly evergreen per day. Send them to me for feedback and iteration. Prepare the first YouTube video, send it to me for feedback. Prepare the first short form videos, send it to me for feedback. Start posting on LinkedIn once per day, send it to me for feedback. Okay, that's the 12 ones that I've listed out so far. I think you have a couple other ones there as well. That's what we need to do. In the beginning, again, it's going to be a lot of stuff because you essentially need to build out your LinkedIn profile. You need to build out your Instagram profile, even YouTube, because I know you've sent this to me. Let me just check YouTube quickly. Check. I think I'm following you now. Oh, that wasn't right.
Nearly.
There we go. See, bro, this was what I felt.
Yeah, there's a DJ that's calling exactly. It's like the same name. Also, like I've got invites in parties and like DJ. They always on Instagram they link me and not him. So I'm invited into parties in Spain or something like this.
That's actually funny, bro.
But yeah, I don't know why you can't find me on YouTube. Maybe it's because I don't have videos online yet.
Oh, you said Simon Fandola official, right?
Yeah.
Let me just check that. Simon.
Maybe I can get also Simon, like.
It doesn't look like this is not you.
No. But it's like, I don't know why you can't find me. Maybe it's because I didn't have any posts yet or something.
Yeah, that's usually the case.
Could be. Because I need to send you the link that you can go to my profile. So
100%. It's not a problem, though. Don't worry about it. For the YouTube, you can take a look at the specific description I have. Just make this one appealing to your specific ideal target audience. Mm-hmm. Mine is pretty professional, which I like. So that's why I have it. Banner is actually not needed. You can have one, you can't have one. And then profile picture, exact same thing. This is actually not a good one, but I'm keeping it because of recognition. So that's that. Easy. Okay. Perfect. So that's YouTube. Instagram, we spoke about that as well. Mm-hmm. Just make sure that that's in place. There's a lot of work that you have to do, but it's going to be well worth it.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah. Awesome. Also on LinkedIn, like you can see the strategies that I'm implementing. Bro, I only have like one setter on here. He's reaching out to like a couple people a day. I get like a very low amount of views. We have like 40 active conversations on LinkedIn, and all of them. And this is one thing I noticed on LinkedIn, the lead quality is just way better. People have way more money, and it's a really, really good lead source. So I would recommend you dive into that. Cool. That was that for action steps. Let me just check whether we got everything so far. LinkedIn, we talked about YouTube Shorts, IG Stories. For SCP, perfect. I think that's it. That's it for mine. Do you have any particular questions, would you say?
Let me think about it. For sure, I'm going to dive deep into the action steps. And I probably get the questions there by doing it. It's like always like this, but maybe it's service delivery is clear. Maybe the searching for the prospects, to find those prospects. I struggle a lot with that. So let's assume now we go, the first weird niche that we use is health and fitness. Now, let's assume this.
Okay.
To find those leads, like my ICPs, I struggle to get that clear, and I always think about, okay, like they're all saying, hey, make like 100, 200, 300, 400 outreaches. But I think, are there that many like ICPs or prospects that I can reach out to? You know, like.
That's a limiting belief right there.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something about the marketplace, okay? This marketplace and any other marketplace is so much bigger than you think, okay? Like if you think about this, let me show this to you quickly. How much revenue does the info product industry, actually let's do online info product industry, turn around per year, say, for example? 8 trillion by 2027. Okay, think about this. I don't know how much it is right now. Say right now it's like 500 billion, which is like 1/16.
Yeah, it's insane.
Bro, imagine every year $500 billion. Billion, bro. That's like
crazy.
Wait, 1,000 millions is 1 billion. So that's like, I don't even know, like 5 or 50,000 million. Like you get the point.
Yeah.
It's so much money floating through this market. Bro, I've been in this marketplace for 3.5 years now, and every day I find people that I've never fucking seen in my life making a bunch of money. And I know a lot of people, bro. Like I know a lot. So like the marketplace is way bigger than you think. Don't let that hold you back.
Okay.
Perfect. I'll show you an example. So my guy right here, for example, he's targeting online fitness coaches. So he's the coach that coaches online fitness coaches.
Okay. Okay, I understand.
So you can, for example, look at his audience and his following and his interactions and try to find fitness coaches there. Once you start connecting more with fitness coaches, following those, that's fucking gross. Bro, I hate that. This is crazy stuff. You get the points?
Okay, I understand.
You can go through it, find people, and then over time you can grow it up. The thing is, so what some clients have problems with, and I think you've heard this on the group call yesterday, is that they have problems with finding clients, not because they don't have the system, but because the algorithm doesn't recommend them more. This is why having multiple social media profiles is going to help. Getting on LinkedIn afterwards. Facebook, bro. Facebook, there's so many info products that are on Facebook. I don't even fucking know why, bro. Facebook is like an old people platform.
Yeah.
But apparently, a lot of info product owners are on there. So like Facebook is good, IG is good, LinkedIn is good. X is pretty untapped as well. So just leverage multiple platforms. Train the algorithm to show you people in that exact niche. Like for me personally, I can show this to you quickly. If I'm logged in, I'm not quite sure. Ah, bro. It's always Facebook, bro. It's never Instagram. It's always what? No. Bro. What?
You need to pay.
No, I'm not going to pay anything. Fuck them. For my Facebook, I have like 4,000 friends. And because the Facebook is optimized to attract agency owners, bro, like, I'm not even joking. I can find unlimited agency owners on there. It's so much, I could never go through it. So Facebook is great. The algorithm on Facebook recommends you the exact type of person you're connected with most or friends with most a lot. IG is okay. LinkedIn is also okay.
Okay. Yeah, Instagram is doing I think they're doing something like to bring always something unspecific to your likings to get you maybe into other, like, I don't know, fields or something like this. But that's a limiting belief. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Market size is huge, bro.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about it, there are probably, say in the make money online space, bro, there's probably like 100+ people making $1 million a month. Probably even more. Bro, if we think about it, 8 trillion by 2027. 2027 is in 2 years, bro.
A trillion doesn't fit even onto this table, this number. I mean, it's like...
Exactly. I would assume, this is my assumption, I'm not quite sure if this is factual. My assumption is that right now it's turning around 3-4 trillion a year. Because if it's 8 trillion by 2027, right now the market cap is 280 billion.
Yeah.
And it should be 500 by 2027, so it's double. So if we assume the same thing for the yearly revenue, it's 4 trillion, bro. $4 trillion flooding through the market. It's a huge market. We just don't see it because to us as humans, it's just very hard to understand the magnitude of how big these marketplaces are.
Yeah.
So yeah, no need to worry about the marketplace. Like there's more than enough money out there and more than enough people that you can target. Yeah. Easy. Bro, I like the board. I think it looks sick.
Me as well.
How long do you think this board took me?
I think now that you're asking
with the documents,
that you're asking like that, I would say like, I don't know, 2-3 days.
Yeah, it took me like I counted the hours because I have deep work blocks. I think it took me like 15 hours to put it together.
Crazy.
Yeah, you wouldn't think, right?
Actually, I think even more, in my opinion, because you have so much detail, so much stuff, the documents. Okay, maybe it's like both. Now that we went through it, I see the details in depth, so I assume that it took more time. But if you see it like once, maybe, yeah, okay. But it was a great presentation, so for sure.
Appreciate
it. It helped a lot.
That's good to hear. I mean, do you have any other questions that you would want to dive into right now, or?
I thought about it, but actually now it's pretty clear what I need to do. And I didn't overthink anymore that big. So now I know what to do.
Easy.
I know what my action steps are. I'm going to execute on them. And whilst I'm executing them, for sure, I'm going to have some questions and I'm coming back to you then. But yeah, that's strategy for now, let's say.
Easy. Sounds good, bro.